All right, you guys. Hello. For those who do not know me, my name is Tammie Larson. I am a member here in the collective rewilding community. I have been a member. I think maybe 2 to 3 years. I'm not quite sure, but looking at my gifts and stuff, probably like 2 years. I've known Sabrina. Probably like 4, going on 5 years here. Oh, yeah. So, for those who are here in the Lesko 2 community and whoever has joined, yeah, I met Sabrina through the Lesko 2 community, uh, through Matthew Lesko's, platform, and I've been very successful on my grant hunting journey, and now I am doing my endeavors and the gardening world, and now I'm going to be soon to be certified master food preserver here in California. Um, I just completed my training. Okay, so so the next class you'll start hearing me talking about food safety and food preservation and whatever questions you may have in regards to that. I'm still learning. I'm still in the learning aspect of just uh, digesting all the lovely information to preserve our food safely and prevent those type of diseases, illnesses, and foodborne illnesses out there that can make us sick. And yeah, so that's something that I'm learning, and I love gardening. That's why I joined the community. That's something that I've always done since I was a kid. Something that me and my dad did before he died. Okay, not too long ago. But so yeah, um, so I've been gardening for a very long time, and it's something I love doing. Spiritually, I love doing it. You know, I don't really do in the ground gardening per se quite yet. I'm still working on that, you guys. It's a work in progress. Me, for those who do not know me, I am in a wheelchair, so me bending down to the ground and doing those type of things, it could be challenging, but that's not going to stop me from doing something that I love doing. So I encourage you, for those who are sick or have any type of illness or disease, don't let your disability or your illness take over. We're all living, we're still breathing, and I'm outside today. It's a beautiful day here in California, and yeah, so uh, if I can, I know if anybody wants to introduce himself, we can start like that. I'm going to start with Miss Vanessa, and can you let us know what state you're from and how long you've been a part of the, Collective Wild community, and give us something that you love to do when you garden. I know that you do garden, okay, and that's something that you do love doing, and just tell us about yourself.
Um, I'm from Alabama. Um, the best part of, I guess, doing the gardening and everything is seeing when they finally come out, the fruit or vegetables or flowers. That just really excites me. Like, oh my gosh, I got a growth. I got a fruit. I got like a jalapeno plant coming out right now, and
Oh shoot, girl. Tell us about your lemon. Was it a lemon tree or like that one
it's
little, yeah, you
big.
gotta you
Oh,
gotta post that.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Vanessa is a
literally,
low key, like a penny shopper, you guys. Like she's the penny shopping queen of the universe, you guys, and she loves doing it, and then she just donates the stuff that she gets and to churches and to children that that can't afford it, and it's so cool. And just to like see her do her we all how do we say it, we all get our money somehow, and we can get it at pennies. We don't need necessarily need a grant like opportunity. Sometimes things can be like literally a penny, and some things that were a penny could be like $1,000. And you're like, you know what? I just got that for a penny. The things when you do, you think outside, you think outside the box, and Vanessa's really good at it. And she's just got to learn the eBay aspect and then get her storage going. But go ahead, tell us about so I know that you want to do the master gardening program. So I get
I
so how
started.
I know
Uh,
I know you attend one class, right? So how does that go? Tell us about it.
well, it's more like a club, a gardening club, and we go out once every month, and we meet and we just go over stuff, or we go to people's yards and they show us the different plants they have and stuff, and just stuff like that. We do giveaways with different plants and stuff. We like on Christmas, you have to bring a plant that you planted. And last Christmas, I took my avocado plant. It was already budding and everything to give away. So it's fun. I mean, you learn different stuff, and the different people come in and talk, from aquariums and botanical places and stuff. So it's cool.
Yeah. So when are you gonna start growing some more stuff in Essa? I know there in Alabama you can grow a lot of things. I think. I'm not quite sure.
I've been outside too today because it's a pretty day.
It is, isn't it? Like I'm outside, like chilling with you guys, and normally I'm inside, but today I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do a live today and the gardening aspect. So I'm just gonna feel nature and just, trying to get my husband out here to water the lovely sand that I got here so it cools off you know, uh, my area where I'm at. But yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Just, chilling and chilling with you guys and this is my first life, like I said. So I'm kind of nervous, but you guys make me feel comfortable or to the point where like, now I can, you know, start doing what I'm doing and because sometimes being up here, you guys, can be nerve wracking. Especially when you're on a new platform and you're talking about new things. Yeah, I post a lot of articles, you guys. I'm very knowledgeable when it comes to things, but sometimes I have a problem explaining things or demonstrating things. So sometimes I like to be behind the scene, but I love talking to people and I love learning from you guys. I love how your guys' techniques and you're like, you know what, maybe I can do that, because, when you read books and, just read people's opinions and read off what they do. And it's sometimes like, hey, let me try what that person did, and just have little experiments, because I live in the desert, so sand, it's all sand, you guys. So with sand, it's I can work with it, So Sabrina, has talked about that drop ship thing, the drop ship chip thing. Uh, it's on her platform. I'll show it to you guys soon. But so I placed an order. Okay, so they can come. I don't even know, like whenever, like 2, 3 months. It could be whenever they decide, or whenever someone in the area calls, a tree chopper or whatever, and they need their stuff dropped, and they, if they're in the area, like they'll drop it right here or something like that. So I've been looking on that, and I've been seeing it, and looks like people are getting their stuff. Looks like they're looking like a week out or 2 weeks out. So I'm not sure when this big pile of wood chips is coming. So I'm super excited about that. I seen Sabrina, do her big stack of wood chips, and I can't wait to see my husband move all that stuff and be part of that process. Because the wood chips, it's a really good idea, especially when you're dealing with sand. You know, um, you know, good stuff. But yeah, so what else, Vanessa? Tell some other plants have you grown, and have you like grown any herbs or anything like that?
No, not really. I was thinking about putting some today. I got a seed starter, but I'm not sure which ones are right to plant right now. So I was just gonna look that up and debate about it.
So which ones do you have? Or you're looking for seeds, or do you have the seeds?
I have seeds, but I just don't know if it's the right time to plant them, or if I missed them already and stuff.
All right. Well, maybe you can, create a post or something. Hey, Sabrina, I'm looking to plant these seeds, and what is your recommendation? She'll provide you with, obviously EDU sites and university sites where it's you know, uh, you know how we work, .org or .edu type of websites, So yeah, that's what I suggest you doing because I only
Okay.
have 30 minutes, girlfriend.
Yeah. I only
So
got I got like squash,
yeah, like create that
onion,
list. I think when's Sabrina's
um,
next class? Because that's a
flour,
good.
some
Oh,
more
you got a
or
lot. My
I'm
mouse
here.
stopped. Sabrina, was that Sabrina?
It was.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
sharing her in the chat.
Oh, okay, cool. Sabrina saved my life. All right, yeah. So what Sabrina will do is, she'll probably give you some great information on those type of resources where you can, decide what area in your house. Do you want to grow them in your house? Vanessa? Are you growing them outside?
outside.
Outside, yeah, because some of these, these lovely squash plants that we want to grow, they grow in vines and they just grow everywhere. Like I have this purple green bean. Yeah, I think it's a pole green bean. Serena asked me earlier. I was like, it's a pole, So that was like the first one that started growing, and it's like thriving like crazy. So can't wait to see that one. I got to transplant them. I got to try at least 3 or 4 or 5 of them. So the roots are really good. You know, as you've seen on the platform, I do solo cups, clear solo cups, so I can literally see the roots, see how like well they're doing. Some plants are not growing, some are, obviously not thriving, and I'm just learning, with the environment that I'm working with is obviously heat, you guys. So I got to learn where my shaded areas are at certain times of the day, you know, um, especially when the summer comes. Some half of the house is extremely hot and the other house is just shady. So yeah, so my herbs is what I love growing, and I love my dill. Oh my gosh, the smell of dill just brightens my day. So hopefully my mammoth dill. I'm gonna put them inside my dills, all my herbs. I'm learning that they're starting to not, do as good as they're being outside here in the hot, hot time. Yeah. But other than that, you guys, I will show you those photos, and hopefully next week I'll be more prepared. This is my first class, you guys, so I'm just going with the flow. I'm just getting your guys's what you guys do and your guys's your garden. I'll be talking about my garden, but I love to hear about your guys's gardening. And when you do attend Sabrina's classes, you can go in more depth with her with those type of questions because she is the go-to person with that stuff. Me, I just I it's trial and error for me, and I just do it, and then I'll let you know is what happened. But different different things happen for different people. We all have different soils, we all have different environments. So, you know, just don't give up, you guys. You might get a dead plant your first time, but don't let that bother you. There's so many seeds that you can grow. And me, I talk to my plants when I start start planting. I talk to the soil. I talk to the soil, and I get my hands in it and I just talk to it. And then as my plants grow, I'll start jamming out with music with them. I'll start talking to them. I have like incense, around my area where it feels like, you know, I like them to feel like what I feel, what they make me feel. They make me feel alive. And that's what a whole part of gardening is. Like you go in your zone and just like I don't know. I love gardening just like Sabrina. So it's kind of like when I get my garden, can't wait, you guys, and I can't wait to see your guys' garden. And when I do my next class, maybe my husband can, I can get like one of those things that you carry around like the YouTubers do and have like a pod stand or something like that where you guys can see what I'm working with and just not seeing the photos. I can't walk, but my husband has some good legs and he can walk for days. Okay, you
You
guys.
are
So
so cute, Tammie. I just love you. We could definitely figure out something. We could work on that this week so that you could utilize your phone and take everybody on a little tour of your garden.
yeah, yeah, it's not a garden, it's just like basically this is what my acres look like. This is what I think I'm gonna do. Do you guys have any suggestions? Like, because I'm working with just flat land, and I love people's inputs. It could be the collector rewilding garden, here in Barstow, with all your guys' TLC. You know what I'm saying? Just all your guys' knowledge and just sharing can help anybody's garden grow. To be quite honest, it doesn't matter where you live. As long as the temperature is good for the plant, you're good. All right, let's see here. Roger, I want to know about your plants. Let's talk about your plants. Roger White. Tell
Well,
well, tell us about yourselves. How long you've been here in the collector rewilding community, and tell me.
I don't know. I don't know how long I've been, but I
I
can
think
tell you when my first garden was in
okay.
1954. Yes, I know. It's I was 4 years old. Um, and it was in my sandbox. I crawled out of my sandbox, and around my house there was I found in, I guess you could call it's tall grass. Around tall grass there was property around my house, and they eventually built it into a golf course. So it's kind of like undeveloped. I found asparagus plants, and I snapped one off, and I crawled back to my sandbox, and I'm in my sandbox playing, and I shoved the stalk down in the corner of my sandbox because I wanted a garden, and it actually grew. I watered it and stuff like that. And it freaked my parents out because they found this asparagus growing in my sandbox. Anyway, that was my first garden. Apparently, asparagus is difficult.
Asparagus takes like okay, you
Hey,
have to grow it for like
hey,
at least a year. Like it has
a
to be in the
green thumb.
ground.
I had a green thumb.
Oh
Green
man,
thumb. I
lucky.
was 4 years old. The following year, we had to move, and that would be 1955. And then there was a thing called the flood of 55. The house next door to where I had my garden was actually washed away. We were happy to have moved. But anyway, so jumping farther ahead, I've got a oh, when I grew up, when I was in elementary school and whatnot, my aunt had a big garden. And we lived on 4 acres that again was surrounded by thousands of acres of undeveloped land. Anyway, the garden was on our property. Um, and just for fun, my aunt gave me a section of the garden. So I had to grow, she grew tomatoes, different kinds, corn, different kinds, squash, watermelon, I mean, all sorts of stuff. And then in another section, we had rhubarb. But anyway, my section was okra. I had to grow okra. And so my aunt showed me how to prune the okra and stuff that you had to take off. It was a pain in the ass, really. But I grew some damn good okra. And it was mainly my aunt. I had to do like the work, but my aunt was doing it. Anyhow, um, so I worked in a garden there when I was like in elementary school, and I didn't really work on it when I was in junior high and high school. Instead, I had a horse. That's enough work as it is. But anyway, now I live in an apartment, and I mean I had different various gardening things when I had houses and crap like that. But anyway, and had houses didn't mean I owned them. I rented. But now I'm in an apartment, and I have my garden on my balcony, and I have a raised garden bed that where I grow my herbs for my spaghetti sauce, and that's basil, thyme, and oregano. So that's what's in there. I've shown you photos of that before. I'll have
You
to
can
get
share
them.
your screen if you like, and
Well, I don't want to do that now. I don't want to
okay,
do
you can
because
do
I'll
that
have to
next
dig up.
week.
I have to find the
You got to
photos.
show us photos of like your garden, of gardens that you've had, or any
Yeah,
type of cool
well,
photos. We like to see those.
yeah.
So.
anyway, so that's going along pretty well. I'll probably take some more pictures of that before too long. I've used it already. I mean, the herbs grow fast enough, so especially when you're pruning them, because you want them to get bushy, so you pinch them off so they branch, wherever you pinch it off, especially when it's young, usually 2 sprouts will come out of that place where you pinched it. And so it gets bushy that way. So I've done that with the oh yeah, there we go. There on the upper left is my oregano. It's bigger now. And the upper right, those 3, actually those are 4 plants. It looked like 3. That's thyme, and then the 4 basil are up close here. And so that's all getting bigger, but I cut it back because I want it to get bushy. And I've also been using it. I've made spaghetti sauce with some of it already. Then I have on the and that particular raised bed has, you could see the bars coming out of the top. Well, that will hold a canopy, and there's 2 canopies. One is a green mesh net that in case there's too many bugs around at part of the season. I like to keep it off because it gets more sun this way. And if I put the green net on it, the sun gets through, they grow, but it's like shade ground, So I leave it off until bugs become a problem. And then if bugs become a problem, then I put the mesh on. And then I also have a clear plastic one that helps extend the season. It becomes more like a greenhouse. You can't really see, it's so frosted, you can't really see through it, but it allows light in, and it keeps it warm inside. So you can start stuff early in the season when it's still cold, and then you can keep the plants going late in the season after the first frost for a little while. But anyway, so and that garden has about there's a reservoir under that. You can see that it only goes like about 8 inches or 10 inches, and then it's empty underneath, and I keep distilled water there because I don't want any minerals in the water that go, except the minerals I put in there. I only want minerals that the plants want in the water. So and distilled water, you can't really drink, humans can't drink it and get quenched because it's not charged. H2O needs to be charged. You have to have ions for your body to be able to make use of the water. Same with the plants. So in order to charge the water, you just put a tiny bit of plant food. So you're not really feeding the plants, you're just charging the water. And with a tiny bit of plant food, and that charges the water, and then you can just water it, and it's like plain water for the plants. But when you want to feed them, which is like every couple of months or whatever like that, not that often, then you would put like the 2 capfuls of, if it's liquid plant food or whatever your formula is on the powdered plant food, whatever that is, you put that in with the water, mix that in with the water. And I don't put it into the bottle. I have a 1 gallon watering can thing. So that has a little extra space, and you can dump the plant food in there, and then you can put a full gallon of water, and then you feed them that way. So you don't really need to do that, but the plant food helps charge the water. So the plants don't get water with minerals in it. That's the point. I have a super kick-ass water filter. I mean, you know how bad the water is in Detroit, with all the lead and all the crap. Well, the water filter that I use for my own, to make my coffee and for my drinking water, that is a clearly filtered water pitcher, and it filters out like all bad stuff and lets the good minerals for humans through. Well, the good minerals for humans is still not good for plants. So I can't use my tap water and filter out that stuff. So that's why I have to buy distilled water. All right. Anyway, that's the distilled water thing. In addition to that, and I was going to say there's a reservoir underneath that that garden setup that holds about 6 gallons of water, and the dirt in it sticks down into that reservoir, so it's constantly being watered from underneath. And so I water it from underneath and over the top. Underneath is nice, and it causes the roots to go seek the water. So the roots want to go down and find the water, but it also helps to wash off the roots and get any minerals out of the way. So I water from the top too, and any excess water just drains down into the reservoir. So that's that setup. Then I have these bags, these canvas bags that are like pots, like watering pots. Oop, there's it. Those are my canvas bags, and you can see the two on top. The two in the center top are serrano peppers, and the one in the center on the bottom in these big bags are also serrano peppers. But I got these as plantlings, and they didn't show up too well. The ones on the bottom. So I put just because the Amazon gave them to me for free because they were ruined when they showed up. They were all beat up and crap like that, and they replaced them. So the ones on top are replacements, and I put 2 of them. I used to just put 1 per bag, but it was like they were out in an ocean because they say to plant them like 2 feet apart and stuff like that. But really, if you dig up the roots after the year is over, and you dig up the roots haven't gone anywhere. They're still like just a short distance of each other. So I'm not crowding the roots by planting all 4 of those things together. They're doing well, but they're not the next picture will be showing them doing quite well. The ones on top are much taller now. And to the left and right of the peppers on top is lavender. All right, and then that one oddball on the left is just mint, and that's an invasive plant. Those were beat up as well, but I'm not worried about them because they'll grow anywhere, or you don't even want them, and they'll grow anywhere. They're weeds, so they're coming along too, and so those bags are nice because they aerate very well. You can overwater them by accident, and the stuff will just drain out onto the ground, or in this case, the balcony. And also, air is constantly there's an exchange of air going through the canvas at all times. So they've always been very good vehicles rather than putting them in plants. And you can see to the right there's a plastic plant that's my roommate's zinnias. I end up watering her zinnias all the time because she might as well be planting them in the desert. she just drips a little water on top of them rather than to get the soil prepared for them. Anyway, that's her business. Those are just flowers over there. But that's my consumables. And the lavender will, of course, the blossoms will come out, and they can be used for essential oils and cooking. Actually, I cook a few things with the lavender. But
Yeah, Roger, I was about to ask you, I know that you do you meditate a lot? I know, like, with your taekwondo and all that stuff, martial
I don't
arts
do
and stuff.
I don't do
Martial arts
actually.
stuff.
I
With your
did take
martial arts,
taekwondo a long time ago,
martial
but
arts stuff, do you use these for your spiritual, when you're meditating, or you just use them for, food purposes?
no, I used to have one plant that I grew for meditation purposes, and it was mainly for cleansing purposes. I used to grow 5 varieties of sage. When I had a big deck, a huge deck. I had big planters on the deck itself, and then I had window pots that I put all around the railing of this deck. So I had several varieties of oregano, several varieties of thyme. I had several varieties of sage, and then where I am right now, I just put the stuff that I'm going to immediately use. But the sage, I had purple sage, I had common sage, I had white sage. The white sage is used by metaphysical people for for smudging stuff. It's a great smudger. The purple sage is good for meditation, and the white, so is the white sage. But Sabrina could tell you about smudging probably. Anyway, I used
I
to
could
have
tell
that.
you very little. They like
Uh,
grass. The Native Americans really like sweet grass for smudging. That's what I can add in the Fort Worth
you use
area.
sweetgrass? I never used sweetgrass. I used to grow lemongrass, but not sweetgrass. And on my deck, I mean, I used to grow like leeks.
Oh my god, I
It
love
was like,
leeks. Oh my gosh.
yeah,
I love leeks.
so I grew a bunch of different stuff. Anyway, these pepper plants will produce enough peppers for me that more peppers that I can use in cooking. I make hot sauce out of them. I mean, there'll just be so many of them. And
So
I
so do you grow the same plants every year, or do you like
yeah,
switch it up?
yeah, I grow
Okay.
the same plants every year. Well, while I'm
Well,
living here,
spice it
yeah,
up,
because
Roger. Spice it up. Get some like
well, I am spicing it up.
tomatoes.
I'm using serrano peppers. That spices it
There
up.
you go. What about some
And
strawberries? Strawberries.
no, I don't want to
You know you
deal with
like
it
your
because
jelly and
besides
jams.
strawberries that I used to have, and I didn't grow, I didn't plant them myself. I just moved to a place. It was really, really nice. I moved to this place that the the guy that I rented it from rented it to me for ultra cheap, ultra cheap because he was assembling property to eventually tear it all down and build a condominium, which he's done. And it was very sad because all these plants got bulldozed. I mean, I had 3/4 of an acre of zoysia grass as a lawn, and that is expensive grass. It's difficult grass, but there was a raspberry bush in the back that was so old it had grown to be like 8 feet tall, and it was like an umbrella. You could part the vine. Well, they're not vines, but they're kind of like vines because they grow up, and then they go out like an umbrella, like a willow. And you can part them. When most people have them, they're like no bigger than like 3 feet tall, so you're knee high. These are over your head, and you can actually part them and get inside the plant, and everything's growing up through a kind of a trunk, but it's just like many, many plants going up all together, and then they all go out in other directions like an umbrella. When the older the plant on those berries, and I had a blackberry bush similar, but it wasn't the single bush, but I had to have people come over and pick raspberries in raspberry season. They were the sweetest because the older the plant is, basically, the sweeter it gets. So if you have a very old plant, it's sweet, and if you have a new plant, they're tart, very tart. And same way with blackberries. And you mentioned strawberries, the same way with strawberries. So when the strawberry bush has been around for a while, then the strawberries get sweeter. So I'm not going to grow strawberries on my balcony. Thank
Now
you.
I was just looking at your lovely greenery that you have on your porch and your grass. I was like, dang, I wish my backyard looked like that, you know?
Well, I'm eating up a lot of your time. You're already over your time.
Oh yeah, you
You're
guys,
already over your time.
you're good, you guys. Thank you all for joining. I really appreciate the support, and thank you all for supporting Sabrina Giesler. This wouldn't be possible without her. Thank you all, and if you are part of Let's Go To community, Sabrina does have a new live going on with her nonprofit, so hopefully y'all join that. And thank you all for joining, and I will see you same time, same place, same hour next Saturday. Yeah, today's Saturday. Next Saturday, you guys. Hopefully, I have something prepared. All right, you guys. Good night. Thank you all for joining.
Night,
Thanks,
Tammie.
Bye.
Night,
Tammie.
everyone.